the Lunar Colony.
Yes, well.
You've got to question how it's going to go against Blank, who you would put a little bit higher than Kraken at this point.
I think that's definitely a fair comment. Blank going to be starting off on attack at their choice. So interesting for sure. Interesting for sure. I don't know, Jordan.
Blank do seem to like starting on attack.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why they like to do it, to be honest.
Mini's pushed very, very far forward on the Diva right now, looking for some information early on in the piece. Got to make sure that you don't get caught off, though.
Tails going to be the first one coming out. Will get spotted and caught out.
Good trap.
Yeah.
Well, that'll happen. Unfortunate for Tails, but it is what it is.
That's 30 seconds gone.
Yeah.
Only 3.5 minutes to go.
It doesn't really help Legacy too much because you can't really build up too much tire charge off for Sombra. You know, if that was like an Orisa or
there's only so much damage to actually be done.
Reinhardt. Yeah, exactly. But 19%, you know, Sleepeasy's still got some work to do.
Blank with a very aggressive team comp here, looking to get into the back line. See if this works out for them.
Yeah,
be careful of
use the translocator.
Yeah. There's someone there. Was that,
tags, yeah.
Was that a good soldier voice?
It was all right. Tails.
Practice. So low.
Down to 10 HP. Does get out. Okay. Being a bit of a nuisance, though, for Legacy at this point. A good trap again.
Oh, great work. Great work. Nellery going to get caught out there.
Nice sleep.
Got to watch out for the Genji. Roro going to try and get back out. Caught out by Mini. Legacy doing an okay job of defense. Blank just trying to find where maybe there are some the weaknesses in Legacy's defensive side.
Yeah, well, Blank at this point I think are just waiting to build up the ultimates. Once you get the EMP Blade, EMP Nano Blade, there isn't really much that Legacy can do about it. I mean, Special Kid will have a Transcendence probably by that stage, but even still, you can't help everyone with that Transcendence, and sometimes, you know, even there'll be a Bionade or something down from
Roro goes down. Sleepeasy actually doing a lot of work here, I might suggest, on this Junkrat.
Yeah, the traps have been good.
And now has the Riptire available as well. We're halfway through the first point, 2 minutes down, 2 minutes to go. Doesn't really feel like Blank has had any real success, and they've definitely been slow on building up their ultimate charges as well.
It hasn't felt like Blank have really given this there a good committed push just yet. They've been making some probing attacks, some skirmishes, but that's about it. Riptire is now up, and so too is the Visor for Legacy. So quite a bit to work with, but
Tails.
EMP's here. We're just waiting for a Roro to get the Dragon Blade, 80% for him.
Throws out the EMP straight away, and a Special Kid going to get caught out there by charging Nellery. Roro should have his blade now, and does. Two quick kills will very easily fix that one up. And it came down to one ultimate there.
Yeah, well, there's literally nothing you can do about that as Legacy. Special Kid, he sits right next to that EMP. There goes all of his shields. He's on, what, 25 HP? Nellery just dives in, gets a free kill. Easy as you like for Blank. That's perfect usage from the EMP. Legacy now, you know, they can have a better chance at defending second, but they didn't even really get a chance at defending first because they were all EMP'd.
Yeah.
So all the ultimates are available.
And right up there onto Addy. That's going to be tough as well. Tails has gone down. Sleepeasy doing what work he can. Still has this Riptire available also. Now decides to throw it out. With a number of big picks coming through. That's a big pick, though, for the defensive side. Nellery found out. Blank still now going to be dropping back. It looked like maybe they would commit, but...
Not a bad fight for Blank, though, when you consider what they used. Not a whole lot, and Legacy have kind of used quite a bit of their impactful support ultimates. You know, Thunder Kitty having to throw out the Transcendence there. Riptire's gone, so Sleepeasy will swap over to Brigitte. And how are they going to shut down Roro right now? They don't have a Transcendence. Has to be a massive sleep from Thunder Kitty or a big shield bash out from Sleepeasy. Like, you don't even have Primal Rage to knock him away. I guess Mini can use the self-destruct to buy some space for Legacy, but this is going to be so tough.
Oh, if the Dragon Blade comes out, we'll follow Roro straight through. It's a Nano Blade as well. He's found Special Kid looking for Sleepeasy. Sleepeasy will go down. That's 2 for 2. The rest of the team getting picked up as well. Mini throws, looks to throw out the self-destruct, but can't. There we go, on top. Was hacked in the meantime, and all that finds is Roro. Not that that's a bad pick. Actually. Not a bad pick, but Blank with some reasonable numbers here on the point. Cinderella, unfortunately, going to go down for Legacy as well. They lose Thunder Kitty.
Good tracking.
Addy doing what he can, may not be enough.
No, it may not be indeed. Sleepeasy has gone over onto Tracer, trying to deal with Kura, but can't. No tick given up, though, to Blank, so that's a nice defense out from Legacy. Mini's self-destruct, definitely not ideal up on top there. I don't think she actually wanted to get the self-destruct out there, but did get demaced and had to throw it. You could see she was trying to knock it down as you can push your mech a little bit in the Pilot Diva form, but couldn't quite get it off the edge, and so it only does catch in the end Roro, but I think that's actually quite reasonable. I didn't think it was going to get anyone, so be happy as Mini, but more defense needed by Legacy.
Well, Nellory's going to go down straight away to Sleepeasy as well, so that's pretty big. EMP does not come out. Sleepeasy doing big work on the Brigida. Blank forced all the way back. They're going to have to regroup here. 2 minutes 50 on the clock. Noz gets dropped as well. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, not too bad for Blank, though. Again, obviously they don't get a tick off of it, but they have held on to the ultimates in this fight. They'll have it for the next. EMP going to be pretty big. Tail spotted out by the spam of Mini. Again, nicely done. All the Diva players in Contenders seem to be quite aware of the threat that Sombra possesses. Looking for Zenyatta with the EMP. Don't think he got it.
Throws out a few, well, like hits a few even, but doesn't hit that many. So this might be enough for Blank, though, to do something. In this scenario, not many players on the point on the defensive side. Rally will come through from Sleepies. If you can see, both of the tanks are down right now for Legacy. They'll get back onto the point very, very quickly. But every second they're losing ticks.
Yeah, Special Kid being bullied a little bit, but that is a nice sound barrier down from Legacy. One tick has been achieved by Blank, but one tick is not enough at this point. Cinderella goes charging on forward. There's a grab there, but Mini will use the self-destruct to buy some space. We'll get the kill onto Kura as well. Does not look like the point's going to be taken by Blank this time. There's another fairly strong hold by Legacy, giving up only one tick.
Yeah.
Be happy enough with that for Legacy. It was a bit of a scrappy fight.
Legacy
they don't have much left now, Ben.
Consistently okay on defense. It seems to be of their two sides. Defending is their preferred side. And now with 80 seconds remaining, Blank are going to have to find something.
Well, neither side has a whole lot of ultimates to play with. Special Kid should be able to cancel out the grab, but he's low, needs to charge it up. Hasn't quite got it in time, so Cinderella will go down.
Yeah, that's a big pick again, losing that tank. Trance coming out from Special Kid. As you said, a 1-for-1 on big, bulky, HP-heavy heroes. We'll see Blank drop back again. They know they've got at least one more fight remaining. Probably one in a little bit, seeing how they come back in. But Legacy going to be pretty happy with how this has played out so far.
Yep. Can't be too disappointed. It's really sort of a 50-50 at this point. You don't look at either side and think they've got much of an advantage. I mean, Addy does have the grab almost up. Primal Rage is there, but then probably looking at two support ultimates for this final fight for Blank, not to mention self-destruct. So there's a bit to work with on both sides. It just comes down to execution for both teams. Cinderella almost dropped, but kept alive.
Blank's last attacking fight will come out. We'll see how Nellory chooses to play this. Tails is actually quite low, as is Sleepeasy. Trant's going to come through from Tongue, and it's Sleepeasy who goes down. Sound barrier from Kura as well. Thunder Kitty brings it back, but it's Mini with two big kills. We haven't seen that much from Mini today. Someone we've seen play very well in the past, and she delivers with a huge self-destruct. This might get Legacy a defensive victory on point B.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It does look like Blank Esports are going to fall by the wayside now, and they will just get there with Tongue on the wrecking ball, but it's a fleeting effort, and we all know how this ends up going. It was a nice self-destruct combo with the grab from Addy and the self-destruct from Mini. I thought when we saw Sleepeasy kind of get isolated a little bit, I think it was Sleepeasy, the Brigida player, that kind of got taken down by Nellory. He was sort of out of position, got forced away from his team, and I was like, okay, that's the pick that Blank really needed to push through and get the win here. But in the end, the grab sort of kept him alive a little bit longer than he might have, and obviously the follow-up from Mini was good enough such that Legacy can hold. So 51.6%. Definitely a winnable map here for Legacy now, but you have to keep going back to their weakness on the attacking side. We saw it on Hollywood. They could not even cap up the first point, and it has always been a problem for them this season.
Yeah.
So it's good defense. Very good defense.
Yeah.
But
should be happy because we did say, and we started off this map by saying, the Horizon Lunar Colony of the two is the one where you feel like maybe there's opportunity to cap once and then maybe cap again or get halfway there.
Yep.
So to be able to keep Blank from successfully doing it the first time around is definitely the start that Legacy wants. Now they need to find their attacking side and and just level that up a little bit.
It's a nice platform to build off, but it could all come crumbling down here for Legacy.
Broke it. Why would you do that?
I think it still works.
There's no way it still works.
It's just the covering.
It's going to have, like, the lenses, John, will need realigning.
Guarantee
Haven't you watched the movies?
If you walk up to that and press R, it still works. You can look through that.
Okay.
Did you know you can look through it?
Oh.
Not the observer.
Sorry, MC. Maybe next time.
When you're playing the game, you can look through it.
Very exciting. What can you see?
The Earth.
Wow, it's almost like it's right in front of you. So, let's see what Legacy do now. It's their turn on attack. Blank actually used up quite a bit of time.
Quite an interesting hold here from Blank as well. Very forward. So Legacy's going to have to fight tooth and nail.
Going to push in. Actually, this is a pretty good push coming out from Legacy. Can they follow up? Blank all very low. Tails the first to go down. Nellery looking low as well, doing what he can. He picks up Sleep Easy, but it won't be enough. They walk onto the point. Addy rushing through, finds out the support. Very nice first push coming out here from Legacy.
For anyone that has never played Goats, now you know what it's like. You're literally just looking at a massive body. He's holding down left click and kind of hoping for the best, hoping that you're hitting the player that everyone's targeting. And this time it was Legacy that got the better of it. Blank just getting a little bit too low. Legacy saw that and took the opportunity, capitalized on it, and they're able to finish off the first point very quickly indeed. Great start to the attack, but it's not over yet.
I'm ready for Special Kid with this Coalescence, Jordan. I'm ready for Cinderella and the Earth Shatter. I'm ready for big plays. Legacy. Here we go. Horizon Luna Collie. Time to pick up a map against Blank.
Yeah, theoretically, Zen Goats should beat Moira Goats because of the 30% damage that the Discord Orb does present, but the healing just a little bit too strong that time for Legacy. Now they need to follow it up. This is their fight to win.
Earth Shatter comes through. Not half bad, to be honest. Nellery goes down, but 2 support ultimates available very, very quickly there for Blank. Should keep them alive. Thunderkitty goes down, and that's that.
Well, Mini's resetting. The rest of them are still in there, but fair enough. As soon as the first player did drop for Legacy, they pretty much knew the fight was lost. Does cost 2 support ultimates for Blank, though, and the Graviton Surge is still here for Legacy. Special Kid will swap over to Zenyatta now that the Coalescence has been thrown out. I think that's a good switch. You want to get that Discord Orb onto the Reinhardt. It's the premium target in the Goats composition. Legacy feeling like they've got a little bit of momentum here as well. They're going to go to the left this time as well. Self-destruct grab combo is going to be huge for Legacy here. Let's see what Noz can do with the right click, Jordan. Can we stop the Graviton Surge in its tracks? Well, it's going to be Noz who throws out the self-destruct, and once that goes out, there is nothing they can do about that Graviton Surge. And 2 quick picks coming out here from Legacy as a result from Special Kid. DMEC comes through as well. They're onto the point. They don't even need the full thing, Jordan. Just 52% will do it. Looking to start this one off with 1/3. That's going to be it. Wow, great work from Legacy on Horizon Luna Colony. They defended well. They remembered finally how to attack here. Yeah. And well done. Fantastic stuff on the second point. Special Kid swapping over to Zenyatta. He gets the Discord onto the Reinhardt. Reinhardt dies. Discord onto Brig. Brig dies. This is perfect focus fire, perfect target priority as well out from Legacy. And it was a very nice sort of fake push as well in on that first push into the second point. They obviously forced the grab self-destruct combo out from the defenders of Blank. And they also forced out both of the defensive support ultimates. They didn't use their own grab. They didn't use their own self-destruct. They knew that if they held onto those, they would have a free push in for the second fight, and they were able to really secure it. Very, very nice stuff out from Legacy, and they've kept themselves alive in this series now. It's 2-1, still possible for them to win. They need to win on Dorado or Route 66, but at least they've given themselves a chance. I think half of this was, again, a great defense from Legacy, and to be fair, a pretty good defense on the first point as well. Obviously, they held out on point B, but the first objective, they bought themselves quite a bit of time here. Yeah, I'd have to agree. A very, very solid defense from Legacy. They almost looked like they could maybe hold out for the first point, but you know, once the Nano Blade comes across here onto second, things start to become a little bit worrisome. I think it was a case of some of the support ultimates coming up at pretty perfect times for Legacy on the defense. Then on the attack, that was a very nice Earth Shatter out from Cinderella, I have to say, but unfortunately there was a Transcendence on the other side. Quite a crazy game. Legacy looked much better in all facets actually there on Horizon Luna Colony. It was a much different looking Legacy than what we saw on Hollywood. Their attack was very solid, very coordinated, and their attacks were what's the word? Not coordinated. I mean, they were coordinated, but they were decisive. They were very decisive, right? So they found the advantage. They found that damage. They found Blank a little bit out of position. Cinderella says, go, let's go, go, go. He's the Reinhardt. If he's pushing forward, the rest of the team is pushing forward.
Yep.
And they smash away with the defensive.
I feel part of it was that first early hold, or the very forward hold that we saw from Blank that really just didn't work out for whatever reason. Yeah. And they took a lot of damage very early, almost immediately.
That's the thing. You can't afford to take that damage as the GOAT's composition, or if you do, you have to back away. Once your Reinhardt is down into sort of one-shot territory, that is where the opposition is going to really surge on you with the speed boost, and they're going to try and take that Reinhardt down because they know that if they can get the Reinhardt out of the battle, the rest will fall quite easily. He's the primary target. But Route 66, the choice again.
Yeah, to the surprise of probably no one. We're not going to be playing Dorado.
Yeah, interesting for Legacy, though, that they do choose Route 66 because they have lost this map twice. If you remember, what was the map that they lost last week to Kraken?
That's because Legacy didn't pick it.
Yes, it is. But I do think that Legacy sort of...
No, I mean, like, they won that round, so Blank picked it.
Oh, right, yeah, you're right, actually. That's a good point. But again, I have to go back a little bit concerned then for Legacy now on Route 66 because, like I said, they've lost twice to it. They lost to Kraken on this map as well. I don't know how much they really put into that. They did sort of try the Bastion on first point.
Yeah, that's right. They legit spent 3 minutes or something with Bastion nowhere near the payload.
Yeah.
So, look, they're on momentum here, Jordan. They've won the last map. They've won their last match. Blank are on the opposite. They lost their last match. They've lost Horizon. For them, they'd be wanting to just reset here, perhaps. And
yeah, Legacy on the defense once again, and Blank on the attack. So all's well that ends well. Both teams are happy to start on their respective sides, as has been the case throughout this entire series, with Blank starting on attack first.
Nellery diving through, looking for Addy, and it's Sleepeasy who gets in straight away. Mini finds the kill there in the end as well, just sitting up there on the high ground with the left click.
That's a very nice bait from Legacy. They saw, or Blank saw Addy sort of on his own. They thought Addy might be a free kill here, but then Cinderella comes jumping in from the side, Mini on the other side. Pretty nice bait setup from Legacy, but has cost them one player, and so they're going to have to back away here. In the end, it doesn't really actually buy Legacy too much time because they don't have a chance for a second forward hold, and they have to back away. So, not too bad in the end, actually, for Blank. Even though they lose the fight, they kind of keep the payload pushing anyway, which is really the objective at the end of the day.
Certainly is. Cinderella going to jump on in. Thunder Kitty up to 50%. Does get saved there by Special Kid with the trance. Self-destruct coming through, won't find anyone, just feeds Roro's big bubble power. And it's Sleepeasy, the first one to go down. Mini not looking in a great spot either with that 90% energied Roro on the Zarya. They're doing what they can. Yeah, Mini's actually found a couple of picks, so that wasn't half bad, to be fair from her. But it won't end up by the looks of things with Legacy winning this particular fight.
If Cinderella lives, it is still winnable here for Legacy. And it looks like he's managed to get out okay. How long that is going to last, we'll see. Addy going down very low, will be dropped. There's still players here, though, for Legacy that can turn the tide, but no ultimates, really. Rally comes out from Sleepeasy. It's not going to be enough to keep Cinderella alive. It's not really going to be enough, I don't think, to keep Legacy alive, as they will start to fall by the wayside a bit here. And if they do lose this fight, which they are losing right now, they won't really have the opportunity to get a full committed second fight here to defend point A.
Yeah, so you can see that Mini's going to be the last one coming through. Well, now that's actually Thunder Kitty. At least Mini and Thunder Kitty can both move relatively quickly, but probably not quick enough to get there.
Let's see. Does Legacy want to try and contest this?
It doesn't look like they want to. No, there we go. You can see the Winston coming through.
He's going to get stunned up.
Yeah. Yep, we should be able to get on there, but Sleepeasy already very, very low. Stays alive. Cinderella was about to go down, but Special Kid uses the trance, waiting to see where self-destruct goes.
Nice job from Mini.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. That's what you expect. Mini stays alive for the moment, gets caught out, and yes, the self-destruct. There was nothing there to stop it, unfortunately. That should get Blank all the way through Objective A here. The payload will continue. 3:40 on the clock. That wasn't an awful first phase, though, for Legacy on defense. No,
not too bad. That's a little unfortunate for Legacy because they did the right thing by contesting that. Mini eating the grab was pretty nice, and that's where I thought, actually, Legacy's going to hold this one. But the grab, not needed, as the self-destruct still able to find two. So they did everything right until they lost a couple of their players to self-destruct unaided, and that was the straw that breaks the camel's back for Legacy. Now Blank have got some forward hold positioning but Legacy will work their way around that.
Well, they're going to come through the far right-hand side, trying to try and just walk their way back into the payload.
The combo.
But Legacy has a Graviton Surge. A couple ultimates coming out, but it's actually the rest of the team who find the pick. Cinderella not needing to use that Primal Rage at all. Mini will get demeched for the moment, but Legacy looking in a good position.
It's not a great time to get demeched because you're not really going to have the opportunity to charge up too much of the mech, and by the time but by the time Blank actually is able to get back into this fight, Mini's still going to be searching for the mech, which is not ideal. It's never a fun place to be. You don't really have the opportunity to reset here as Mini either, so Legacy just have to try and take a slow fight here, try to avoid the start of the fight before the mech actually does come across for Mini.
Well, they're going to go in straight away, and Cinderella on half HP goes down then to Kura. Only now Mini gets back into the mech, and they're one tank down, Jordan. So this fight is not the fight particularly that Legacy wanted to take. Graviton Surge will be used along with Self-Destruct. So a lot of ultimates coming out here from Blank.
Yeah,
but it
Legacy needs to reset.
Yeah, they'll secure the payload.
I mean, what Cinderella was trying to do there was provide space for his team, provide space specifically for Mini to get the mech back. He did have Primal Rage, but unfortunately, he was hit by a very nice shield bash from Tails, who denied the Primal Rage, and he got bursted down. That's okay, though, for Legacy. It is going to mean that they've forced out the self-destruct grab combo here. They'll have another contest onto point B, and this time with Primal Rage available again, both support ultimates available. Addy's very close to the grab as well, so this is definitely a winnable fight for Legacy.
Looking for the first pick, that is crucial in this scenario. Nellery almost goes down, but has the Primal Rage, throws it out. Still everyone up and alive. It's Primal Rage and Primal Rage. Who's the first Winston to die? Cinderella very, very low. The team doing what they can to keep him alive. Graviton Surge going to come out from Legacy. Self-destruct comes through as well. Are we going to find some kills? The sound barrier all across Blank finally will go down. They still have shields. However, again, this fight's been going for a good 20 seconds. Everyone's still alive, Elfishguy.
Yep.
Goats is at times slow.
Legacy looking a little bit healthier at the moment. They do have just a bit more shielding because the sound barrier of their own did come down a little later. So Blank have quite a number to chunk through. Grab this time though. Self-destruct coming out, and that's going to be a good one.
Later. Great work.
Yeah.
Noz cleans up with an exploding Diva mech, and the payload will get across the line.
And that is what Legacy failed to do with their own grab self-destruct combo. They weren't able to get a good one off. Yeah, Addy got a good grab, but there was not enough follow-up. The damage wasn't really there. Self-destruct didn't quite land in the right position for Legacy, and Blank are able to push through. So now they're going to get point B, heading into the final phase of the map. They don't have a huge amount of time to play with, though, Ben. And I think the ult economy just starting to favor Legacy a little bit more because they burnt all of their ultimates in that last fight, and the fight progressed for quite a while, so they were able to build quite a bit up. And then it took the grab self-destruct to come across for Blank to actually finish it off. So they've used those two, where Legacy have now started to build their own for, you know, a little half the fight or so. So they should have a little bit of an advantage heading into this third phase of the map, Legacy, whether it's holdable or not, because there is time for Blank to sort of pull it back in their own favor. Does remain to be seen, but I think, again, we're looking at Blank, we're talking about how they've been pretty decent on the attack. Blank certainly, if they can get all the way through this phase of the map, I think they'll be happy with that. Legacy, again, we continue to say they struggle a little bit on the attack. Didn't see so much of that on Horizon Lunar Colony.
They were fantastic before, but that's still an outlier from every other game we've seen.
And that is also based on the momentum. You can get that momentum. Really, all it takes is maybe one fight on Horizon Lunar Colony to finish it off. And with all the ults that they had, all the momentum that they had coming through from point A onto point B on Horizon Lunar Colony, they were able to steamroll that. But you're not going to be able to finish the map on an escort map with only 2 fights won. You need to be winning 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 fights. Which, yeah, sure, if you steamroll point A, is great. You're going to probably potentially be able to do a pretty good number onto point B, but then there's always the third phase of the map that by that stage, it's allowed enough time for the comeback for the defensive side, and I think it's going to be a little difficult for Legacy still to really win this map, but hopefully for Legacy, they're going to be able to hold on and defend against the full capture. I think that's the win condition here for Legacy. They do have self-destruct up to 75%. That's what I'm talking about, where Roro only at 20%. The ult economy looking a little bit more healthy right now for Legacy than it is for Blank. Rally there for Tails, of course, but not a hugely impactful ult in the grand scheme of things.
Well, as we were about to head into overtime, that means there's now Only a couple of minutes remaining here for Blank to make something of this. As you said, Tail's going to use that rally, but we're looking for the first pick, and that's going to be a couple of big picks actually very quickly there for Blank. They're going to get full control of this payload. You can see as well how far forward they are right now. Roro up to 70% on the grab. Roro at 100% on the energy as well.
That's really fed a lot of charge over to Blank Esports. So Legacy, while they might win this next fight because the ult advantages that they do possess, they certainly will not be winning the next because of an ult advantage. So they need to do a number onto Blank twice now.
Oh, big Earth Shatter comes through the Trans Esports, but they have lost Cinderella. Graviton Surge not going to miss. Sound Barrier will try and keep Legacy alive, but they are all split up right now. At least Nellary's gone down. Noz finds one. Sound Barrier now for the attacking side. They found the advantage. Can they push it? Yeah, I think they will be able to here, Ben. Blank, they're going to cap it out with time remaining as well. We need 97% of the self-destruct. Would have loved to have gotten that one off. Don't think the hamster's going to get there in time. No. The wheel not spinning fast enough. And for Blank, that was just perfect, aggressive play. They knew that they were the ones that had a bit of a deficit. They knew their win condition was going to be that Earth Shatter, and they get a good one down. Great stuff. And Legacy, a disappointing hold in the third phase of the map. They had enough to work with. Addy's grab got eaten in there by Noz as well. So 44 seconds remaining. It doesn't seem like much, but Legacy, I think it's a number that's going to be hanging over their head. Very similar to what we saw there on Hollywood. I guess to be fair, I like 40-odd seconds on a payload map, you know, it's much of a muchness, but to have that in there, have that ready to go.
Well, it's just like, okay, Legacy had done a reasonably okay job of defending up to that point, but then once it hits the third phase of the map, they sort of just fall to bits. That's exactly what we saw on Hollywood, where Blank was able to finish the map off with just a little bit of time remaining, but it was more than enough. Legacy, again, going to have to pose a good attacking time, and that has been the struggle for them so far throughout Season 3 of Contenders. I wonder if we see the Bastion. I'm expecting probably won't, but Legacy did try to pull it out last week against Kraken.
I don't know if I'm ready for the Bastion today, Jordan. I don't know.
It's not so much that they're going to commit to the Bastion, it's just for this first point where Blank tried to take an aggressive fight. And the Bastion can put a bit of a problem.
Just need to know when to swap off.
Yeah, it looks like
which is right now. Straight away with the Widow. Looking for some sort of pick, and now onto Zaya. Much better choice than what we saw last week. And look, straight onto the payload. Let's see how the push from Blank on defense plays out. However, Nellary the first one to take damage, getting right into the thick of things and actually taking quite a bit.
Addy going to be quite charged up by now. 69%. Yeah. Nicely done. Gets rid of Tongue.
This is actually a very nice quick push coming out from Legacy. They found the momentum.
Yummy. Yeah. You want to eat that Diva as the Zarya.
A lot that can be done with that energy weapon up against a mech that cannot stop it at all. Now going to try and chase down Roro. It gets forced all the way back.
Up to 64% already, Addy.
What a great start here for Legacy.
It is a great start, but it also means for Blank, because they all sort of died so quickly, they are going to be able to actually get a second attack here. Try and burn some of the ults. It should be Legacy's fight to win.
Look at that. That will get a lot of
Cinderella just gets
a lot of charge. Yeah, a lot of charge for Addy, but unfortunately, the shield not enough to keep Cinderella alive. And now Legacy going to get forced all the way back towards their spawn, one by one, getting picked up here by an aggressive Blank.
Legacy just a bit too split there. As Blank will be able to capitalize on Cinderella, who really was out on his own. The bubble from Addy was good, of course, but once the bubble has disappeared, there's going to be a Discord Orb, and Winston does not like Discord Orbs very much at all. So it will cost Legacy quite a bit here. Caleb hasn't progressed too far. That's a nice start, though.
It was a great start. Roro immediately removed there by Cinderella. Trant's going to come out from Tongue, sitting on the payload, looking to see if they can bring back one pick with the health advantage. Tails goes down to Cinderella as well, Jordan. Kura comes through with the sound barrier, but surely in this point, Legacy will find the win. Maybe they'll be able to stagger them. Maybe they'll be able to get this payload through to the first point.
It's not a done deal just yet. A couple of ultimates available for Blank if they want to throw them in, but it looks like they are quite content to give it up. Noz gets out on 14 HP. The DMAC would be lovely there for Mini, but won't quite be able to get it in the end. But that'll be good enough for Legacy to push through point A with a very good time. A little bit quicker than what Blank were able to do. They'll get the extra 3 minutes added over to them.
We'll see what Blank will choose to do. They should have the hole-in-one combo, grab and self-destruct available in just a moment. But the Sound Barrier, the Primal Rage, mini self-destruct, all looking strong here.
Yeah, quite a bit of armor across the board for Legacy there as well. Both Special Kid and Addy will be helped out quite significantly by that. So difficult now for Blank to chunk through.
Tails with the rally, Primal Rage is popped, stuck in the middle of the Graviton Surge. Self-destruct comes through, does find Tails. Noz throws one back. Roro has actually found 2 big kills, whilst Noz is not successful. Probably won't matter here. Looking to clean up the rest of Legacy, and they're going to have to regroup and try this one once again. Yeah,
Blank are doing a fantastic job of focusing Cinderella down. He dies so quickly, and this is definitely not a fun game for him, I'm sure. Every single time it seems that Cinderella tries to jump in or tries to do anything, he just gets melted. The Discord Orbs have been on point from Tongue. So it's a pretty solid hold from Blank. It also wastes a lot of the ults out from Legacy. So that's, I mean, exactly. That's perfectly what you wanted to achieve as Blank there, even if it costs you a few of your own. It's much more impactful on the side of Legacy to be dropping ultimates right now than it is for Blank.
Kura about to have the Sound Barrier as well. There'll be 2 support ultimates available here for Blank. Tongue goes trans for trans here with Legacy.
There's a beat as well, though, and there is not one for Legacy.
Yeah, that's it. So it's just a matter of, do we even need this? Well, Tails has gone down. Kura brings it back. Rally comes out from Sleep Easy, so maybe we might need to see this. No, that's not the case.
From Roro. Let's go out. Doesn't seem too impactful, but the kills coming across for Blank nonetheless.
Yeah, look at this. They're right here at the start of the second phase, into the choke point, and really punishing Legacy, to be perfectly honest. 2 minutes 15 remains, so still plenty of time for Legacy to work with, but Blank starting to find a bit of a foothold.
Yeah, they definitely are. Grab for Addy. Self-destruct for Mini is what Legacy will look to in this fight to find the advantages. Cinderella pushing on forward.
Throws it straight out over the top, quite high though, still manages to find Sleep Easy. Potential for that to be enough depending on what Legacy commits to here. Graviton Surge comes out, self-destruct could go through. I think it's there. Big play from Mini, finds 3, and finally Legacy with an opportunity to get this momentum back on their side. Yeah, but it's a lot of time that's been wasted by Blank, and even more time will be wasted before point B is actually capped up by Legacy. So I struggle to believe that they're going to be able to get this done with more than 44 seconds remaining if they do cap out. As long as they can cap out, though, they have a chance, right? Well, that's it. To be fair, at this point, Blank was in a worse situation. They had less time on the clock, I feel, so... But their phase 3 was so good. Mini... Yeah, it was. Will get healed up by the Transcendence. And now Addy goes down straight away. This is going to be a tough fight to win for Legacy. The high ground is not probably where they want to be either, and Cinderella going to get forced back and picked up there by Tails, trying to fight the rest of Blank on top of the walkway. Legacy just needs to make sure that they finish this map out. Anything can happen in an escort map on the overtime because of the overtime mechanic being able to push the payload for so long. As long as you continue to win fights, you can complete the map. Yeah. Which is not as easy as it sounds, but it's definitely easier than something like 2CP with only 30 seconds. You need to win one fight or you're done. Well, with 30 seconds now, Jordan, we're looking towards this last fight of the second phase, pushing towards Objective B. Legacy not looking like they're in a great position, and this certainly is not going to help them at all. Throwing in what they can, but Noz with a half-decent self-destruct combining with Roro and a very nice Graviton Surge should clean them up. Well, it's not over just yet. Cinderella will be able to touch. Special Kid forcing the Transcendence early to get them close to that point, but now he's going to be right in the thick of things. Yeah, he's with Cinderella, but a bit of an overextension, I think, there from Special Kid is he's going to get absolutely decked, and it's a player down before the rest of Blank actually get into the fight. Mini needs a huge self-destruct here. Looking for it. No, alas, is not the case for Legacy. Blank very healthy right now, sitting on that payload in a prime position. Tails just throwing that flail about as well. Will find his counterpart in Sleep Easy. And that'll be it. Elfishguy 3-1 will be the score to Blank, both in this map and the match. Indeed, so a little unfortunate for Legacy. They weren't able to get the ball rolling in the second phase of the map. Blank too strong today, but the expected result for Blank, at least being able to pick up the victory in this matchup
whether they could have gotten the 4-0. I don't think, you know, you could say that Legacy got away with a cheeky one or anything like that.
No.
It was a very solid win on Horizon Lunar Colony, so it was definitely credit to Legacy for being able to pick that one up.
Yep.
But across the entire series, Blank was definitely the stronger team. So they deserve the 3-1. I think Legacy definitely deserves their map that they managed to achieve, though, today. So overall, neither team can really walk away hugely disappointed, I don't think. I mean, Legacy, a bit to look at there for them. I'm sure that they can go back and say, hey, we could have done this or this or this better. I mean, I'm sure Blank can actually do the same and find some mistakes of their own. But at the end of the day, I don't think either team can be particularly disappointed. No, it's pretty reasonable stuff.
And we came into this saying, hey, for Legacy probably to be happy with this one, if they can find themselves a map, that's a good result. On the other side for Blank, if you come, you get your victory. You don't drop your 2 maps. It's not like you have to go through to the tiebreaker or anything like that. 3-1's a good result for them as well. It's going to put them in a nice position on the scoreboard. Yeah, definitely. For Blank, you know, a necessary victory as well. If they would have lost that, then their season could have been thrown into a bit of disarray. Yeah. But they're quite comfortable at the moment, and now they really have to set their sights on how their match is going to go against Atletico. That's really going to be the deciding match for Blank and for Atletico now that we've seen both these two teams have lost to Sydney Drop Bears. No one's going to catch Sydney Drop Bears at this point, but it's a race for second place, and for Legacy, it's now about ensuring that they can get that that 4th place finish, I should say. They definitely don't want a 5th place finish at this point. Need to get a win over Mindfreak. I think that's the one team that they haven't really played yet that could be kind of up in the air. So for me, we're starting to get a bit of an established order now coming out from our Group A. And talking about order, Jordan, if we think about Group B, that 2nd place for Group A is actually very important because the top of Group B is quite stacked. When you've seen the order went down to Heist, that was quite surprising. Melbourne Mavericks sitting up there at the top as well. You don't want to be in one of those last 2 spots going up against one of the first 2 teams in the opposing group. Yeah, no way. For Legacy, you know, I guess that's ideal, right? That they even at least get a chance to get up against one of those 2 teams. That, I think, is where their run is going to end. But for teams like for Blank and Atletico, I mean, specifically for Blank and Atletico, that 2nd and 3rd place is really hugely impactful because who knows, you know, maybe Order could be sitting down in 2nd or what have you. So if you sit in 3rd place, that's a very tough playoffs game that you are going to have to face. So lots of questions still up in the air. There's still another 2 weeks, plus the rest of this week as well to go. But I think we're getting a really solid understanding and idea of now where Group A is going to sit. For me, obviously looking at Mindfreak and Kraken as our next match, that is going to really decide, in my mind at least, who's 5th and 6th. Not that it matters hugely for the rest of the teams, but at least for Mindfreak, for example, in their first season of Contenders, to avoid being in 6th place, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, I think the outstanding result that we're waiting for here, apart from that 5th, 6th, and working out where they fit, is, as you said, who ends up 2nd, who ends up 3rd, and I'm excited that we haven't seen that game yet, then we will be able to see it a little bit later on in the season. Yeah, definitely. Looking back on this matchup, though, Blank, I think it's fair to say Blank won 3 really convincing maps, and Legacy won 1 really convincing map. It wasn't like it was a hugely close series in its whole, but the maps themselves were just so one-sided. Even the one that Legacy won, which is like typically surprising, right? If you would expect a 3-1 to come out, you'd expect the match that is won by the underdog, in this case Legacy, to be a pretty close sort of streaky win where they might get away with some little bit of luck and that kind of thing, but not the case there for Legacy. They absolutely smashed Horizon Lunar Colony. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jordan, it's time once again for our Macca's play of the game. McDonalds Australia play of the game between Blank Esports and Legacy. It's going to be Roro, probably to the surprise of no one, with some big plays from Farah. This is just one of the great plays that we saw from Roro on Farah in this matchup. But this was I love how you just see everyone turn. Watch this. They're all like, oh no, mate. And by that stage, they're already dead. Like, it's too late. Yeah, it's like when someone lets out a ripper of a fart in the back of the cinema and everyone turns around, you know, oh man, that's way too late. And you just wafts over and you're all done and it's too late to let you know that one from experience, Ben. You just got to be careful. That's why I don't go out these days. I don't even know where that analogy came from, but all right. Roro, that was a ripper of a fart and a great rocket barrage to boot as well. But overall, a 3-1 victory for Blank today. Yeah. And for them, you know, I think they would have liked a 4-0. End of the day, you can't be particularly disappointed, though. Blank are setting themselves in a position where they really are able to challenge for second still. Well, Jordan, that's 2 down, 1 to go. Next up, we're going to find out who was maybe the bottom of the table clash. I'm still interested to see how these teams play out. And this, to be fair, maybe still playing for 4th spot. A crucial game for both Mindfreak and Kraken. That'll be right after this.